like a lot of actors, you had a struggling period right at the start, right?
Oh, please. For years and years of it. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I waitressed for, I don't know, a gazillion years. I ran telephones at various offices and dressed up like Cookie Monster at a wedding.
Hold on.
You know.
Well, hold on. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, that's all right.
No, wait.
I hope you weren't a bridesmaid.
You were a Cookie Monster or the Cookie Monster?
The very one.
The very one. You were the Cookie Monster at a wedding? How would that go?
Trying to get people onto the dance floor.
Oh, my God.
I always hated.
I love that. I'm also imagining the Cookie Monster officiating, you know. Want matrimony?
That's good stuff from Edie Falco, who brought it to us. For the first time here on One-on-One, we got Peter Sagal, who is the host of NPR's Wait, Don't Tell Me, and also the author of a book, The Incomplete Book of Earning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Steve. It's good to see you.
20 years with this show.
Yeah.
What's the hook that keeps people... First of all, you said they thought you would throw you off the air right away.
Oh, absolutely.
Then you asked, is anybody even listening?
No, we assumed when the show began in 1998, it was launched nationally, which was a mistake. You should have your adolescence in private. We were having it in public. And the initial response was not great, so we assumed we were not long for this world. The joke in public radio circles was it was called Wait, Don't Cancel Me. And we just decided, since they were probably going to cancel us, we might as well just have fun. And we just started amusing ourselves and waited for someone to stop us.
Who's the we?
The we was myself and our producers and talent, myself, Doug Berman, my initial co-host, Carl Castle. The people who, we've had a wonderful group of people who've worked on the show over years, Mike Danforth, Ian Chillag, tremendously funny, charming people. We're just a small group of friends who do stuff on the radio we think makes us laugh. Not to mention, of course, our panelists, Roy Blunt Jr., Mo Rocca, Faith Saley, Roxanne Roberts. It's an amazing sort of family of people we screw around with, and it's great fun.
And you bring it together.
Yeah.
With a great team and make it happen. How much fun?
We have a lot of fun. I tell, like, for example, I had a conversation with Edie Falco, like I do with all our guests, and I always tell them the same thing. I say, the more fun we have, the more fun our audience has. That's our formula. People tell me, you sound like you're having a great time. Well, we are. I don't know how to fake that. So we just enjoy ourselves. We make jokes that make us laugh. We ask questions that we want to find out about. I mean, you know, like in the clip you just played, I'm listening to Edie Falco, and I asked her about being the Cookie Monster because I thought that was a pretty interesting topic.
And she wanted to go past it, and you said no.
No.
You're not going to let that go.
Rewind, bring it back. What?
And you have a scorekeeper. Is it Bill Curtis?
It is Bill Curtis.
For those who don't know the format, if you will, of this fun show.
The show is a comedy show, but it's disguised as a quiz show, meaning that the format is classic quiz show. We have a panel who answers these questions. People call in on their phones to answer questions. But the questions are pretty silly. We don't care if anybody gets it right or not. The only prize we've ever given away is a voicemail recording. It used to be Carl Castle, then Bill Curtis. Now it's anybody. On our show, I mean. And the entire point is to have fun. So we'll ask a silly question.
Give me a for instance.
For instance is, we'll quote a tweet from our president. Make America great again, or this is bad, or whatever he might have said. And we'll say, who is that? And what do you know? It's President Donald Trump. And yes, we knew that, but the reason we were asking was so we can spend a good solid 3 minutes making fun of Donald Trump.
That's by the way, has Trump made it more fun?
Trump has
or more painful?
He's made it more difficult in surprising ways. As anybody will tell you in the vast satirical industrial complex, the key to satire is exaggeration. Yeah. You take something small but noticeable, you make it big, and so it's funny. Hillary Clinton seems somewhat a little entitled, so you make fun of her. You say, well, her real campaign slogan was Hillary Clinton 2016, you bastards have kept me waiting long enough. That's not true, it's an exaggeration. What do you do with somebody who actually brags about the size of his junk on live TV, as Donald Trump did in 2016? All you can do is you just point it and say, yeah. So There's a bit of a challenge in terms of those of us whose job it is to exaggerate for comic effect.
So satire, political commentary, having fun, while the things are what they are and we're wondering, are we ever going to get to a better place? Yeah, well, that, in a weird way, I try not to worry about that latter. What? Because here's the thing. What if the rest of us are going to worry? Well, I know, everybody's very worried. But you're not worried? I'm very worried. Okay, I want to be clear. Professionally, my job is to try to, at least for an hour, to decrease your level of stress, you being the listening audience. So, yes, we could devote the entire hour, even comedically, to talking about how terrible things seem to be. But that's
Well, depressing. So one of the things we like to do on our show is, yes, we will address the latest interesting actions by the president.
By the way, we're taping at the end of 2018. There could be a whole range.
Yes,
of
no one has
so
any
we're not
idea.
Even gonna,
and yes, and what's the point of even mentioning what he did this week?
Exactly.
Because by the time people see this,
and I'm not being critical. I'm just saying it's interesting.
That's the world we live in.
Go ahead.
So yes, we will say the things about the president and related things. As I like to say, we say the things on the radio that most people shout at the radio. But most of our show is devoted to pure goofiness, weird studies, strange things that people were caught smuggling in their pants, dumb things drunk people in Florida did. All that
Why
stuff.
in Florida?
I don't know.
Nothing to do
You'll
with
have to ask
elections
them.
in Florida?
No, just at Florida. Somebody once said it's as if you sort of tipped the nation over, and all the lunatics sort of got
Come on.
stuck in the.
Like, we can't let you just say that.
About Florida? I can say that about Florida.
Lunatics.
I know. Many of them are from the New York area, but we can.
New
say
Jersey as well. I'm a Jersey guy.
I'm a Jersey guy.
What are you,
Jersey?
Berkeley
I'm from
Heights?
Berkeley Heights, New Jersey.
Newark.
Newark.
A little different.
Little different. Very.
Little different.
Very different.
I'm just saying.
Very different.
Okay.
All right. Anyway.
Can we switch gears?
Yes.
Running.
Yes.
I said to you that I tried to run. My wife's a real legit runner. I'm a cyclist,
Yes.
otherwise known as I spin, where the bike doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
But running for you has been a powerful experience.
It's been my exercise, my salvation, my meditation, a kind of second career.
I'm actually looking at you running in a picture right now. You look
my
good.
God, really?
Look strong.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's a picture taken by my friend Kyle Cassidy
Nice.
of Philadelphia. And
How has it been all those things for you?
Well, I started running seriously around that. Well, I had a spate of it when I was a younger man growing up in New Jersey. It was a way of dealing with a lot of stress from adolescence. Sure. Who knows how I would have fared without it. But in a weird way, my second life running boom, which continues to this day, started when I was 40, and kind of for the same reason. Just like when you're an adolescent, you're unhappy where you are, what you thought you'd be, you're not fitting in as well as you hoped. You start something to change things up. That's why I started to run. And that's kind of why I did it at 40. I was, as you might have remembered yourself, turning 40 seems like a surprise the first time you do it. You're like, I didn't know this was possible. And I think at that time I was looking around at my life and saying, this is good, but it's not where I want it to be. I need to change something. And what I chose to do, as opposed to, Lord knows, pick up a new craft, learn a new language, who knows.
Or something unhealthy.
Or something unhealthy. I decided to run, and I decided to run a marathon, and then much to my surprise, I thought, I'd run a marathon, and then I'd do the next thing, go to Nepal, get a sports car, who knows.
How many?
To date, 14. The last being the New York Marathon last year, where I guided a blind runner with Phillies International, which was a great honor to do.
And you did Boston that year.
I did Boston, let me think. I've done Boston 5 times, but most significantly for the book anyway, and the story I ended up telling, was I ran it in 2013 with another blind runner, the first time I guided a blind runner, a guy named William Greer, and we, long story, made very short, we crossed the finish line just 4 minutes before the bombs went off, which was interesting and not something that I ever expected. And so the book that I ended up writing about my running career, what running has done for me, what running I think can do for anybody, is basically a year, more or less, in my life from that explosion to the following year's race, which I went back and ran again with another blind runner.
Is there a section of the book where you talk about running in your underwear?
Yes.
What's up with that?
Well, it was somebody's good idea. One of the things that I tried to do in my running career, and talk about a little bit in the book, is the running exists in 100 different varieties. There's ultra running and community runs and obstacle courses. And one day I ended up in my underwear on a February day in St. Louis running a charity run called Cupid Undies Run. It was the silliest damn thing I've ever done. And in a weird way, kind of the best, because what it was, of course, it wasn't serious, it wasn't for competitors, it wasn't for middle-aged athletic warriors, it was for raising money for a children's illness, or not for the illness, but efforts to fight the illness.
Sure.
The illness is doing fine. And it ended up, as silly and goofy as it was, one of the best sort of miles I've ever run, because that was the first time that I ended up running for something other than myself. Running is, of course, a pretty solipsistic activity.
You help people who are
yeah,
blind,
in this particular case, and then that's when it started.
Oh, okay,
and from then, the next race I ran, actually quite literally, was the Boston Marathon as a guide for a blind runner. So that's basically, and every marathon I've run since then has been as a guide.
First of all, congratulations on 20 years.
I know, isn't it
doing
crazy?
A great show.
Wait, yeah.
Our executive producer, Jen Eichlin, she recommends certain people, but she was like, hey, this is a great get.
Yes.
That is a great show.
I'm
and
very
we need
prestigious.
To celebrate the 20 years.
If you have me on your show, it means you've made it.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
See? Thank
Congratulations
you.
on
It's only
having me.
taken almost 30 years.
I know.
On my end. Peter Sagal is the host of NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and also the author of the incomplete book of running. Congratulations.
Thank
and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Stay right there. We'll be right back right after this, I think.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by New Jersey Sharing Network, RWJ Barnabas Health, PSC&G, the TURRELL Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, NJIT, MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, and by Wells Fargo. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.